YouTube channel for another interview. I'm Connor, and joining me today is Moe Jeudy-Lamour to chat all about his role as Thierry Zoreaux in Ted Lasso. If you enjoy this interview or the others on the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. So welcome, Mo, and thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, for sure. And I suppose fans of like the sports comedy series Ted Lasso will recognize you as Thierry Zoreaux. But I mean, how did your journey into acting first start?
It first started when a lot of people were telling me that it was impossible to become an actor, and I took that in, and I was like, okay, cool, but I'll still try. And then at one point, I met Orlando Jones at a work where I used to work at a kind of like a Best Buy. And I met Orlando Jones, and he was like, "Oh, if that's what you want to do, you got to just go and get it." And then he was telling me about Vancouver. Vancouver was supposed to be super busy, so I went there and I started auditioning. It was fun. Then moved back to Montreal, started auditioning there, and then I booked X-Men. And then next thing you know, I'm next to Hugh Jackman, Ali Berry, Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart. Yeah, Patrick.
That's right. Yeah.
That's it. And then and that's what I realized. I was like, how is that impossible? Like, I'm having a conversation with Hugh Jackman right now. It's not impossible. Yeah. And so I just really put my head down and kept going and going, and then moved to LA 4 years ago, and then it's been this journey since.
Yeah, for sure. And I can only imagine that X-Men would have been a fantastic experience, obviously not only for your CV, but just like, being able to say, I did that, right? Would you agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. It was a very small part, but it was just the experience of being on set for so long with that kind of people, like I had conversations about acting with literally all of them and just took notes, especially Hugh Jackman. Actually, he was so generous too. He was like, I kept asking him about questions about like, what did he, because some actors will use animals for their characters.
Okay.
And especially him, he's a Wolverine. He's like the Wolverine. So I was like, what's the animal that you embody when you're in this character? And like I thought it was like a bear, and he was like, actually the complete opposite. He like really thinks that he's like a small animal, and so that's why he has to be so aggressive. I was like, wow, that is something like just a tip like that could like help me for any character that I'm doing. It's just a contrast of choosing your characters and how you can embody them. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely sounds like a great insight into his mindset. But I suppose, like, kind of jumping ahead in terms of the timeline of your career, I mean, Ted Lasso, like I said, how would you explain this expanded version to anyone who hasn't heard of it?
The funny thing was, I think it's when NBC signed a contract to have the Premier League on their channel, on their network. And so I saw the commercials and I was like, yo, this is so funny. I don't remember if I knew Jason then, because I've known Jason for like 8 years now.
Oh, okay.
We did a movie back in we did a movie together back in Montreal.
Okay.
And then I saw him again in LA, and then we did the show. But I remember watching that and I was like, dude, this is hilarious. And then when I saw him again in Los Angeles, he was like, yeah, so we're going forward with the show and it's going to be that. And I was like, wait, the commercials that you did way back? He's like, yeah. I was like, dude, that's going to be amazing, because I thought the commercials were hilarious. I used to watch them just like that, and it was just so funny. And it's amazing that he took like, it's almost the same idea, but you can kind of tell it's not the same character.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. It's like, that's where you can tell he's a genius too,
Yeah. So obviously, like, your character Thierry is a goalkeeper, and I was wondering if you could like talk a bit about how he comes into the show and like the role he plays.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Terry comes from a team in Canada, and there was an injury that happened on Richmond's team. I think it was the goalkeeper that was the starter. His name was Thomas O'Brien. He got injured, and so they took my character. They took Thierry Zoreaux from the team, and he got transferred, and that's how he shows up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really small world, because my surname happens to also be O'Brien. That's yeah. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
that's a coincidence.
small world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what position do you play?
Well, I'm quite tall, so probably by default they probably would put me in goal or maybe as a
Yeah,
defender. So mad. That's
so
crazy. I
you'll
love
be
that.
able to buy the jersey then. You can buy his jersey and wear it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as long as as long as it doesn't say T O'Brien, if you just change it to a C, and it
That's it.
will be great. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
it.
Yeah.
That's good.
And you've kind of segued nicely into my next question because I was going to ask how familiar were you with soccer or football, depending on where you're from, with that sport. Did you support any team in particular? No.
I honestly, as a kid, I only watched the NFL. That's
Right.
the
Okay.
only thing I want. I played like American football as a kid,
Mm.
and then when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this part, I had to really like the thing that saved me is that Jason plays FIFA a lot, so me and Jason played FIFA a lot,
Sure. Right.
and so
Okay.
that's how I learned about the teams and about like positions and stuff like that. And then when I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be the goalkeeper, I started looking at like some goalkeepers, but I to this day the team I play with is PSG, but it's kind of like a cheat code,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
was just the team
Yeah.
is so stacked.
Very
And
good
then
team. Yeah.
Jason plays with Man City, and
Yeah.
so we played PSG versus Man City a lot.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, because I don't know how common knowledge it is that you knew Jason Sudeikis before, but I mean, how would you say your experience has been working with him, or even the likes of Juno Temple or Nick Mohammed, and there's other cast members in it as well, but that kind of level of talent.
The crazy thing is not even just talent. Like at that point, everybody's like really, really good. But
Mm.
then it's just like how amazing the people are. Somebody like I always like to use this example, but someone like Phil Dunster, who plays Jamie Tart.
Sure. Yeah.
He is one of the loveliest human being you will ever meet. You can hang out
Hmm.
with him and you wouldn't even make the correlation that that guy plays Jamie Tart because he's such a lovely person. And that
Yeah.
goes to show it's like, yeah, okay, great. He's a great actor. He's an amazing actor. That's facts. I'm pretty sure he's going to go super far. He's going to win a bunch of awards and stuff like that. But as a human being, there's no awards for that. But like,
Mm.
he's definitely one of the best people I know. Tahib Jimo also, he's amazing. I love him. Yeah, of course, Juno Temple, Hannah, all of those people are such good people and such great people, and that goes into like casting, which that
Mm.
was Theo Park that did that part, and Alyssa Rogers, where the casting was so well done, and
Mm.
it's also Jason, that definitely had a part in it, but yeah, it's just so crazy to be surrounded by those people who are such great people.
Yeah, and I know it's a different aspect of the creative process that you're involved in, but would you say that not starting from scratch, that there was already a pre-existing concept going into this has affected I guess the development of the show, from when it started?
Well, yeah, but that's the thing with Jason is that he knows because he's also like one of the writers on the show. So like
Yeah.
he knows exactly what's gonna happen throughout the season. Like
Hmm.
throughout like every season. Like he knows what's gonna happen and he already has it mapped out. So for like when we get on set, we're just having fun at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, because and again, you kind of touched upon this as well, because I feel like most times when you're an actor playing someone with a very specific profession, you kind of might look into that kind of area to understand more about what you'd be playing. And I know you mentioned kind of looking into goalkeepers, but does anyone in particular stand out, or to get a sense of the kind of personality you might need to bring to the character?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, because my character's from Montreal and I'm also from Montreal,
Got it. Yeah.
um, I kind of made it so that he's more like Patrick Roy, who is a goaltender in hockey, who's like
Okay.
known as one of the best goaltenders in hockey of all time. And it's more like that, more like to be very, because you can get so lonely as a goalkeeper, like everybody's
Yeah.
far from you, and so it's like sometimes it's a little bit lonely, and so you start talking to yourself and stuff like that, which is
Mm.
something that Patrick Roy used to do. And so yeah, so like I kind of did that, but then I'd say like Keylor Navas from PSG is like my favorite one, but that's also because he's from that team, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, would you say then, like, did you have to have like a crash course in goalkeeping to kind of understand what it would entail, or is it like more like fake it until you make it, where you kind of know the broad concept, but you can like sell it that you know a lot?
I got very lucky because season one they got me a goalkeeper coach, and it
Right.
was one of the goalkeeper coach at Chelsea.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay. Yeah. That's
that
huge.
that definitely helped.
Hmm.
Definitely did wonders. So like that definitely was good. And then yeah, I did that. It was a lot of fun. Came a bunch of times to help me out. And then the thing is, as an American football player, I was a wide receiver, so catching a ball was something that I did a lot. So
Sure.
it's very
Right.
very similar. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very similar to that. So it definitely helped.
Yeah, and then I suppose then, like creatively or physically, then like how would you say your experience on the show has been? Like, do you think it's been a learning experience, or like how have you found the overall journey so far?
Yeah, it's been a lovely experience. You know, I live in Los Angeles, and so for me to go to London to film for like 6 months,
Hmm.
such a blast. I learn a new culture. I have new friends, and then I hang out with friends on set every day. It's super fun, and then you learn a new skill. You know, it's really really cool.
Yeah, and I suppose obviously just because Thierry is like a reoccurring character, I would assume that would mean you've got maybe. I mean, would you say you've got more freedom to do other projects and like the likes of Jason Sudeikis, or have you been able to pursue anything else while also working on Ted
I've
Lasso?
been auditioning a lot. Luckily, it's been that's been really really fun. So I've been
Mm.
auditioning a lot, and then apart from that, I've been writing also. So that's it. It's been fun.
Yeah, and I suppose then this is like the last pre-prepared question I've got, and it's just like professionally or personally, what do you hope to accomplish with the rest of this year?
What do I? Sorry, I don't understand the
Y-
question.
Yeah, like what do you hope to like accomplish or achieve? Like, what are your goals for the rest of this year?
Oh, for the rest of this year. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I want to finish at least two more screenplays. So I have one in the bank, and I'd love to finish two more. And then
right.
I'd love to also. I'm gonna start like really, really training for goalkeeping, and
Mm,
so I'd like to come back season three and be like completely so much better. You know, so
yeah,
that would be really fun.
yeah. I guess just to say then, best of luck with Ted Lasso and your other
Thank you.
ventures, and yeah, all the best and take care and stay safe. Thanks for taking the time again to chat.
Thank you very much, man. To you too.